Hi, title says everything. I'm gonna provide feedback for the Mischievous Monsters in their week 2 matchup. So let's see how this goes, right? So I'm making sure. Okay. This already looks like it's perfect. So we're just gonna go through this, probably slightly more cleaner. I actually, he says that, and I don't actually think that there's really much to see here. But again, we'll just. So it's actually a good challenge by Easy. So Easy actually just kind of like, unfortunately, blocks the attempt. I mean, like I looked through this, and it's like it's not actually like that awful of a scramble. That's just follow through. I mean, so for the point of reference, Easy did kind of like move up a little bit. Um, should either like play the bump or just like get out, just avoid going for that ball, because it just in the scheme of rotations, it just says that I'm staying in. When you should be out. I mean, like Pool Sharker hits, like defensive. Yeah, this like isn't anything too bad. So it's a double commit again. Comms. Actually, just gonna rewind it to. Yeah, so no one was up, so I don't mind loud. Loud, yeah. And this is just loud was back enough. I think like it's. I'm not gonna worry about that. Um, it's all about just like grading the hit because like if Lau had read the hit a little better, he might have had a chance on that. So that is a little worrisome though. So I think. I wanted person view. Okay, yeah. I understand why Sound went to the ball, but the minute, and again, this is just recognizing, again, do as I say, not as I do. The minute you are kind of like looking at trying to put it across your body like this, um, also across the play, so, we're working left to right here. Like Salad's hit is going to have to be like a leftward shot, unless it's, hits the corner of the car and goes into the right side. Again, I think this is just comms. Um, and I also fully acknowledge that hey, it's a split decision that's being made, and it's really hard when up that again as someone who goes up for these balls probably more than I should. It's just yeah. So again, I think like this is just straight comms, and also like secretly that does cause problems, with your teammate as well, because they're trying to like not hit you or not put the ball into you and stuff. So Also, if this is the same Yeezy, I have broadcast one on matches. I want to say it's a ones match against the Sins, but you know, it's like, hey, I recognize that name. I want fly and I want ball. So I just think Salad was just probably back, just playing a little safe, and that's fine. Um, so just really quick, from this comes in knowing when to break the rules. Lao should just come straight back here. Um, so the reason why on this is that like it's in a way kind of like I'm going to say Salad's ball. Salad here is the last person back. Salad should, like, Salad may be up a little too close, but Lao shouldn't turn on this because, you know, it's kind of like this is a point that this is like a I'm trying to like articulate myself, and I keep stumbling. Um, the best way to put it is like Salad is going to make the determination kind of here of whether this ball stays in the zone or not. Um, so like loud turning really isn't going to unfortunately like kind of contribute a lot. Even though Lao is full, but like there's not, you know, like yeah, see again, like I completely get what Lao's doing, but like Lao should just be rotating out because like I think this is a case of again, do as I say, not as I do. You know, the best thing that happens that I mean, really, that ball should have been hit. You know, and if Lao's coming back, they can play defense. But I understand like Pool Circus rotating back, but I mean, I don't think this is like a case to be cutting rotation. There's just like there's not a lot that can go right. That's a little risky by Salad. Again, I understand. Like all this, I also understand. It's just, it's kind of like in a way, he's just trying to. So this is just going to be a point of advice. Um, God dang it! It's actually a good drop. So this is, yeah. So I again, like I understand. This is just guessing. Um, what's going to happen? Is that ball going to squirt right, or is it going to pop up? I say this not knowing what the exact decision is, and in a way, it kind of feels like it's middling it, but I don't fully know. Again, um, like it's sort of like I think the best case is if you're going to play the post, you just like need to let it. You need to be back some. That way you are like that way you aren't carrying speed. This feels like this really feels like playing it going off to the right, carrying the speed, which is smart, and then just sort of kind of reacting to it again, like it happens and all that. Um, that's well struck there. I mean, not anything like too weird so far. So I just might want to sort of like pre-jump. Okay. Like I'm not totally mad. So, but I do want to see what's going on here. Okay, so it gets cleared away. It's put back in by Ginja. So Pool Striker's gonna play it. That's that again, like a lot of those, it just might always be the case of just like communicating with your teammate and just making sure that you rotate behind. So I could sort of again I can understand like the decisions that were made to like do this. But it's kind of a cut and it's like in a way it's not a real favorable like touch coming up because like we're basically we can kind of see like the corner here and like where the corner kind of ends. It's like that ball's probably coming straight out a lot of the times at some weird angle and like by the end of the time bar like that might be the one that like you might be able to get, but I mean it's not really a favorable hit. So again, keeping that in mind. So this like comes off salad. So Lau's not in a really good spot here. And I don't know like what Lau can do. So like a couple things are happening. Like Salad's kind of making a wide rotation. Salad might think about cutting back early. And Pool Striker's all the way out, so Lau's just kind of like, yeah, Lau's just kind of trying to read it. So really, what Lau should do so rotate back. Like this is actually not that bad. Like this is all good. He kind of starts creeping. So and again, it's just like a slight difference here. Just if you're again, this is like hard because I catch myself thinking it's just like why was I creeping? Just giving yourself that extra tenth of a second. Because had Lau been going straight across, you know, all you need to do is get the front of the car on it, and it would be in the corner. Um, I'm saying this possibly too, but because he's off the goal line a little bit, it's those extra inches. So, like I don't again, it's not like I don't disagree with some stuff. It's just doing the minor things. I feel like the cheat up that the mongooses did there was like that's not really good cheat up. Like it covers if the ball's pushed to the side, but that's about it. Like, and really you want to get the boost. That's unfortunate. So this like should be a quick breakdown. Okay, yeah. So I think a lot of mistakes us League players make is we still keep moving. Um, yeah, and again, like this is, I think if Lau just comes straight across, like on the post, and could still read it, but like there's kind of like kind of making like an S here, which just like saps some of the momentum. Whereas if you just make a one angle turn, um, you can get there. So I would just probably like the advice Aaron allows. I'd just probably go up for that ball early. Just put whatever pressure you can on the defense. Nice save. Yeah, like that. I don't have a problem with that touch. It's a little risky again, but like it isn't necessarily that bad. But it's that two people in the same spot that it does give the opposing team a little bit of advantage. It's a good block. I feel like something that can be worked on is just working on like doing proper aerials, just going up for the ball, learning when to like you know double jump aerial, fast aerial, or just boost up in the ball. Again, like I think this is something that can easily be worked on. It's like trying to work on your half flip and just go into free play and just do the mechanics. Okay, that's a little dangerous cut by Pole Striker. Okay, I like the boost deal. Nice. Sal just missed. So I may pause between games 1 and 2 here just to like spout off on the triangle. That's a little loose by the blue side, I will admit. Um, so really quick on the triangle. Like it's just like a basic offensive concept that I've like it's a little weird. So usually like basically you attack in one or two ways. You basically have two people up on the same side. Um, and like the third person that's back's actually on the far side, and like the more I've kind of thought about it, the more it's kind of like really bad. Um, because like a lot of the balls just like if the one's on the left, a lot of balls are going to come out to the right to the two. To the right, like if you're on the left, ball's usually coming out on the right, and player on the right just has a lot more options. Usually, this is usually than the person on the left. Um, Obviously, if it's like you're working up the side ball and you just bang it near side, it stays on the left side. That's left person's ball. But like if you put it like close to the net from like the wall or something, like that ball's banging out to the right. So like really like the two, needs the two's like theoretically got this like again, saying the left is like covering from the center to the right side. And it's just all about positioning, figuring out where you need to be. And then, of course, then the three is like behind the one, and is covering like the at basically at the half line, and is covering left to center. And is just being there for support because if that ball shoots past the two, well, then the three has to make the decision what they're going to do. They aren't going to try and just try and put it into the right corner, try and keep the play going, doing something, take it up the wall, or just put it back in their corner and buying their team time. So, and generally you do not want to cross. So, what do I kind of mean about that? So your one's like here, the two should be like, here, and the three should be here. And when this play starts back here, generally you should avoid crossing because I see this in diamond lobbies because that's where I'm at right now. But the two loves crossing and then parking in right here. So the one, like, what are they going to do? Like, to get a playable ball, the two, it's just bang it straight out. I can tell you what normally happens. The one, like, takes a shot or puts it on the backboard, it comes out. Well, now the two just got done crossing, is going to come here and take a bad shot. And the three, who's normally back here, now is crossed. And then suddenly has to turn. And then again, it's like the one needs to figure out, after they play the ball, how to get out there. I say all this is just that, it happens in the champ lobbies and that. It's just that I feel that people stay in way too longer than they should. Because they think they can do more than what they actually can. People are, overconfident in their abilities. Narrator included. But yeah, because it goes back to the earlier shot there where I said like I think Sal cut there, and it's because the ball was here, passed in off the back wall, Sal kind of came from here, and like Pool Sharker, it's funny how this kind of ended up. Pool Sharker's coming in here, and even though like Pool Sharker started technically as the three, that's like in a way like his ball, and he becomes the two. So this is kind of like high concepts, but you can also cut rotation a lot better when you're communicating. So as long as if you are calling out, then theoretically everything's fine. I'm gonna pause it real quick. I want to check Discord because I hear it beeping at me. All right. I apologize. Let's rewind this. So I know we're kind of spoiled by, like, you know, now we can see a status bar, but I haven't memorized everything, so I probably never will. So that is super risky by Lau. Okay, no, it's a little risky. Um, that just again leads me to believe that, again, not having access to comms, either no one called it or at the last second someone said I might not be getting this. Um, like Sal does end up getting a touch on it, so it's just like really. I kind of keep calling it out. It's just trying to apply the gravity rule here. You know, if your teammate's up and you're like, there's really not that much danger, because like, yeah, and again I'm looking at this from the replay, but that ball really is not in any danger of going in. Um, and I know I'm looking at this through the replay, but like, it's like, okay, like, yeah, this is fine. This is all fine in turn, but yeah, I feel like that ball's not going in, and you know, if I decide to last minute, oh crap, it is. Like I think Lau can take a you know a route along the goal line and actually grab the ball. So. I don't mind that challenge. There. Oh, that's tough. Let's bang it in. Missed, but that's okay. So Blue was probably saying like, man, that should have been a goal. That ball just didn't come out quick enough, and the player in the middle, I say smartly, like it's more like correctly weighted, because if they came too early, they just wouldn't have the shot because they'd be slamming off the near wall again. Okay, so Sal goes in. Okay. Um, so Lau probably. Okay, yeah, it just looks like a little miscommunication there. I like the demo attempt, um, but you have to be really careful with that. What Easy did, because, like, again, I see this. It even like happens when you're in comms, is that no one calls it. So no one kind of rushes up for the ball or challenges the ball or anything. So that's actually a good play there. Okay, so from the blue side here, So that unfortunately comes off. So Ginja's up, kind of pushes in the corner. So okay, and I think this is sort of actually a time where the rule can be broken on like the triangle. Lau just kind of needs to push in just slightly. Um, it's in this case just so that if there's any sort of like right side shenanigans, he can cut down angles or be there to send the ball in. So, um, but again, this is just like a very minor thing. Like I don't disagree pushing up, but probably just like stay middle here. Um, and kind of the reason for that is that um, this is just purely just coverage. Um, you don't necessarily have to be on the right half of the field, but it's basically center just behind the line. Again, it's just more or less just covering to make sure something doesn't go wrong. Because like after this touch, like this is clearly either it's somebody on the right's ball. So Lau doesn't need to peel off here. He could have just like slowly rolled. Corrects himself anyways and puts the ball in the back of the net. And that was actually a pretty decent demo on the rotation. So just there, someone needs to just call someone off. Actually, I think I was formulating something. And it's something I saw that was happening. Okay. Yeah, that didn't look as bad as I thought it did. Sometimes when you're doing a far post rotation, it becomes a near post, and you just have to figure out. You have to make the decision: is my rotation right now going to be useful? Like again, you have to know when to break the rules. Yeah. Okay. So again, just on salad, like you can probably stay put on near post, and don't have to be so far out. Because yeah, you kind of like get the boost here. So the one problem here again is like rotating here through the. You're basically rotating through the play. I try and get high up. It makes it awkward for me, but like I don't want to do anything ridiculous here, like hit that ball. But Ninja pulled off, so it wasn't that bad. But I mean, that's like something that can get punished. It's much the same way of taking the ball off your back wall. And not getting any power on it. You have to be really careful. It's basically the same thing. I am curious as to what happened there. Just on blue side. Okay, so that ball gets blasted down. Like, oh. Okay, so Easy was avoiding a demo. I'm guessing. So just the learning moment here is that there's no way Easy could have been touched here. Again, I understand it, but like, you know, it's kind of like actually like the few times that actually being in the nut is because like if your opponent has to come in and nut to demo you, like it's kind of really bad. Even in a situation like this where the opponent's shooting on net. So then what does Ginja do? Okay. Okay. Alright. It's kind of like that needs a case of just like making a little bit wider sweep so you can come in, you know, and reacting quick enough. So again, one of the things I do want to call out is I'm not really stopping this for Mongoose double commits. Oh. And I know I praised the Mongoose in week 1. And again, like I'm seeing more of the same here. Like a lot of it's actually just coming down to like weird positioning. Which I think might be a combination of just a lot of it's chemistry playing with each other. You know, and then just like getting used. Oh, that's rough. So I just want to see how Pool Sharker came in here. Yeah, so just for Pool Sharker, come in a little bit wider. Like, how's the best way to explain it? Just because, like, you know, it happens even if when you solo queue. The reason why people rotate through the ball is that they think by being close to the ball, they'll always have a play on it. Technically, it's true. You will have the most simplest play on the ball. If your goal is to hit the ball, always ball chase, rotate through the ball, and stuff like that. You're really not going to have a lot of good hits, you know, because you're like going to be rotating and hitting it backwards and doing all that. But the reason why like the far post and just like the wide rotation works is that by doing so this is a case of like trying to figure out when it's appropriate to give space, and it's such a way is whether or not to give space. So in this case, I'm saying I probably would have come in far post. The reason being is I saw Salad there. So I would have sat far post, hopefully. And then just, you know, waited to see what happens. Like, in a way, this sort of, again, this is like, that was a great catch. Don't ever do it again. Damn straight, I'm quoting Major League. Because, like, the way Easy, like, it's the way Easy cut, like, Easy doesn't really have a shot here. So, like, Pool Sharker is kind of blocking. But, I mean, again, it's just, like, it's kind of looking at the overall type of thing. And that is, like, because Salad is there, like, Pool Sharker can play something that comes over the top of Salad. So, you know, to go back to... It's like, you know, you can kind of circle in because, like, unless the goal is to attack that ball directly as it's on the back wall, then this is fine. But otherwise, again, it's like there's really not. And so like again, like in this case, the ball's kind of coming out, and like if Easy gets the ball, Pool Sharker can still turn in and make a save. But this is kind of actually really dangerous, and Lau's making kind of a really dangerous rotation there too. So again, it's kind of just you know trying to make that as automatic. And that's like part of like of offloading all these decisions into your subconscious muscle memory and all that. So also just a general recommendation. Again, for the Mongoose is just I think a lot of this is just trying to hit the ball properly too. Yeah, that's an easy goal. So, and I know I probably would have skied this ball too, but so I'll bangs in the corner. Yeah, like so kind of an FYI for Pool Sharker. You, like if you're not gonna be up for it, just kind of wait because like so looking at this big picture, if Charlex hits this ball's going downfield in some manner or form. You're not going to be able to get to it. So, like, if just laying off a little bit, like, then you can react to the ball. Like Salad gets to it. And then just, as the play continues, Salad should just say, I got it, up, whatever. And Lau can just kind of pull further back. It's the reverse of the defensive man scramble. It's, smelling blood in the water and trying to put the opponent away. So again, this is just kind of like all minor things. But it's also like in a way it just kind of helps like set up the team up throughout the attack. I mean, that game is like what, a pretty convincing win. Yeah. So, good job. Let's go game 3. So when I was doing like Tiesto's team, there was just like, because they were, what were they? They were tier 5? So that's Diamond. That's just a hell of a dunk. So I think we can see from Lau's perspective here. I'm want fly, and then I want ball. Okay. So this. So teaching moment incoming. Soy does not have to hit this ball. And we can kind of actually go to Soy's perspective. This is the field. So this is Soy's view. Salad can't make a play on this ball because Salad has boosted away. Like, what is Pool Sharker going to do? Try and, like, backflip into it? And, like, Lau's going away. Like, we can even back this up a little bit. Man, I feel like this is sort of a bad rotation. Well, it's fine. But, like, doesn't even land to support. So, like, this is like, I hope you get this. So, like, Soy is basically playing this ball like it's still theirs. And I don't actually think it's Soy's ball. I think it's Charlax's ball. Because, again, unless Easy breaks up field, this becomes a heck of an outlet. But, like, really what happens here is that, like, Soy kind of cuts Char there. So again, teaching moment. Someone on blue needs to call this ball, like, right away. Yeah, Bucks, they could have been trying to do it, but this, this is pretty disastrous. So, and this is, by the way, here's a secret how you can get a 4-hour video. Someone comes into chat. I'm not criticizing you, Bucks. Bucks said it looks like they almost tried to pitch it. Yeah, they were. It looks like they do, but I don't know again without that. But also here, more teaching moment. If Char is turned sideways to his ball, they need to GTFO. This is now Easy's ball. But Char is still madly chasing this ball and just cuts Easy off. So let's watch this again. So ball comes in, gets called out. Like, it probably, I feel like it should have been Char's ball, whatever. Like, Char is just chasing that ball down, and I feel like this is no communication on the blue side. Like, and it would not surprise me if Easy pulls off thinking that Char is going to get it. So what happens as a result? Well, now you got two people rotating back through the play. Like, Easy's rotating back through the play. And Char's in a really bad spot. Char should have, the minute Char recognized that they couldn't have the ball, it should just completely peel back and go back for a post. Or at least try and get to a post rather than a corner. Because now, like, how many times have you seen this go wrong in Champ 1 through 3? Like, this does not end well. Kind of misplays it. Lau's there. Just gets a nasty dunk. So again, teaching moment. So, just passing on stuff I've heard. If that ball stays in the middle and there's no cheat, the person who take the face off should stay with the ball. Which Lau did. But, log that away. That's kind of dangerous. Comms. All right. So I want to see kind of what Salad sees. Looking at what Salad sees, knowing that probably 50% of the time I would be going for that ball anyways. Again, I think comms. Like, I'd probably be going for this in solo queue. But for reference, Salad, Pool Sharker, one of you just calls the ball, and the other just, gets out of the way. Because this suddenly turns into a gravity moment, whereas, like, Pool Sharker probably has a play, but now it's kind of like dodging Salad. So, again, just for future reference. The gravity rule, of course, is when you see your teammate in the ball with the air, let them finish whatever it is they're doing. 5% of the time, you should be around them guessing. Okay, so it's fine. Pool Sharker kind of rotated near side. That totally should have been a goal. Like, this is definitely like an acceptable near post through the play rotation. I just would not touch this ball. I would try and stop it or push it to the right wall, but like, I would not be trying to like play it across. This is a very, very dangerous touch because the ball just goes out in the middle. And like, even at this level, I mean, probably even at C3, like, your teammate in net is not expecting that hit. Because it's a very dangerous hit. Again, like, kind of some miscommunication here on the blue side. So again, this is East versus West. Who should go? Yeah, it looks like Char probably called off at the last second. Easy just needs to try and give as much berth as possible. And like, I understand the jump there too. And that is a classic Clangers bar out. So decent clear. Nice save there from Soy. Don't know why that didn't show up on the timeline. That's an epic save. Okay. So, like, I know I said I wanted to go over goals, but this is again. Let's do none. Okay, so Lau is going to come out. Pool Sharker throws us across. So, like, again, this is sort of like semi like weird rotational. Like, Salad is just trying to do everything. So like, cover an outlet through the side and then cover a ball in the middle. This just naturally comes up. Okay. So, like, obviously this becomes Salad's ball. So, like, it's fine. This ball is served in. Like, this is going to be tough for Salad to do anything with. Probably, like, if I Salad, we'll see what happens. Okay, Salad should try and, like, corner the ball. Which does happen. So, yeah. Yeah, see, this kind of messes everything up. Like, I think ultimately in the end, like, Pool Sharker got hit, so gave them a chance here. but like Lau should be coming in. But Lau smartly pulls off here. Like recognizes Pool Sharker. Is gonna cut. Like ultimately, technically, that's Lau's ball. Even if Pool Sharker can get, it's just the reason why is there's not a lot that's gonna happen. Like unless Pool Sharker can turn it in the net, like the ball's just gonna end up in the corner, and so now we got this problem. So like Salad's in a rough spot. Salad is gonna try and play the ball. There's not much Salad can do. Try and like catch it and settle it, and then I don't know, either roll it up the wall over to the net, or try and roll it back to Pool Sharker. But obviously can't get a touch. It's a really rough situation. But see, like now, we kind of actually showed this last week on the other side. Like Pool Sharker's kind of caught deep. Does get the cut there, fortunately, but that's kind of dangerous, and that goes again. Be careful when moving east-west. Always be careful moving east-west. Like, if you have to cross a row of boost pads, so like, this is kind of a row. Obviously, the mid's a row. Like, somewhere in here is a line, an invisible line, for the purposes of like, you know, coming from like this section all the way over. So like, you know, it's almost like chopping the field up into fourths or whatever. Like you can move like a little over like half the field basically. So like if you're here, you can move here east to west. You know, if you're like here, you know, you can, this is like your limit. Again, it all depends. But you like really want to be careful just because you waste so much movement laterally. So. Now I will say, if Pool Sharker is making this challenge because of what's happening in the back there, this is actually kind of heads up. This in a way is kind of like a free challenge, even though it's like super dangerous. Because what's going to happen? Well, Lao should be back. Like, you know, again, this is like being confident in your own abilities, which is sometimes dangerous, but like gets a good block here, which he did. Like, obviously Salad needs to get away, and it looks like Salad's going to move out. But now there's two orange players that can make a play on this ball. Needs to be like called. So good on Salad just to you know, be out there. And okay, so Lau smartly moved back, and then this just becomes Pool Sharker's ball. All he has to do is just kind of put it away from the opponent. Yeah, so that actually ended up kind of working out. I kind of like, well, it's like, okay, this is a case of like sometimes chasing your mistake is bad, but like that's sort of low risk. I never liked the solo standard kickoff. By the way, Bucks, if you're still here and want to chime in on anything, feel free. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I like just kind of like just peeling off a little bit, getting reset, because it's Pool Sharker's ball. Okay. So Pool Sharker's going to peel out. Again, the advice for a Salad here. Just turn. You can kind of make a wider turn and just like wait to see what happens. You don't necessarily have to come in. Um, this once again is just, cross body shots. Like, if the ball goes in the corner, that's probably going to be Pool Sharker's ball to begin with. So you just need to, like, wait for a center here. Because, like, again, this gets into, like, cross body territory. Because now, as a result, like, that's a bad hit. It's like, well, how was I supposed to know that they're going to hit it bad? So, okay. So we kind of covered this last week, with just like snapshots. And again, I'm pretty sure I would be processing this, maybe if not here, probably like this, ignoring Salad's positioning right now. So I would be a little bit more laid off on this, because I don't really have a chance at this ball one way or another. So let me explain kind of here just like what's going on. Hopefully this doesn't take 30 minutes. Again, this is just kind of, this is how I think I am processing this at this point in time. Okay, so I see Lau. Lau's going to make a right side rotation. Perfectly fine. I think Pool may or may not stay in. This is completely dependent on whether or not Soy hits the ball. So if Soy misses the ball, like, Pool's probably going to play that ball. Which is why, like, for Salad, I would be back a little bit off screen, probably at least at the boost pad level. So it's also like helps with seeing the play vision. So if you notice how Soy is, in most scenarios, Soy's putting that ball right on the screen. Soy's putting that to their left, but the play's going right. So, like, here in this case, if I'd done everything, my thought would be is like, oh crap, I'm out of position. Because that ball's probably coming out pretty hard. Like, Soy is all, again, we know what's going to happen. But, like, Soy's kind of angled pretty well at the ball right now, it looks like. So he's probably going to put it right. Now, could come down off the ceiling, which is favorable. But so, like, at this point, Salad should kind of be shading. One should be a little bit far back and kind of should actually be shading right a little. Instead, like, in this case, Salad just kind of cut in a little. So instead, Soy hits it with the corner. The ball is going to go straight up, but now still, like, Salad is in a way like left. And it's still coming in. And I know part of it is like straightening. Yeah. So I would probably say, like, for Salad, just figure out a way to get up right now. Because I think somewhere here Salad would recognize this is theoretically my ball. So Pool Striker's going to come out. Lau should be behind. So Salad just needs to get up. And again, it may or may not be a good challenge ultimately, but it's to force your opponent into doing something bad, even if what you do is bad. So I don't know if that's a shit flip or Salad backing off. Unfortunately, Salad really doesn't get a touch. Now, Lau's there, so that's good coverage. Even though Lau gets beat. Off the backboard. Gotta be careful on that. I know Salad was looking to put the ball in space for his team. So it's not, again, not necessarily the worst, but just, keep in mind. I guess now I call that the unforgiven problem. That's actually, whether intentional or not, that's a kind of heads up. We'll explain the Unforgiven problem shortly. So this is like kind of sneakily heads up. So there's actually, I don't think there's one bad thing that can come out of this, but I think Lau, if Lau can get to it, what Lau does is just push that ball out. The bad part is if it pinches just right, it's in the back of the net on the orange side. But this is, you know, in terms of like winning the ball and winning it properly, like this is actually pretty heads up. Like, because you can see the play here. Like, so he's going to have to defend something, and again, this is turning into like east-west. But Salad actually has like a lot of time here, relatively speaking, to put this ball wherever they want. Comes in, and just all like because of the challenge, you know, all Salad has to do is just basically, you know, put it near side in the smaller space. But I think that's obviously correct. Could have kind of swung out a little bit more wide and had more options. But I don't know. I think this is correct. I think if I would probably like to think is if you draw the defender out of net, that should technically favor you, just like how things go. Even though it probably shouldn't because the goalie's cutting down the angle. But like again, if you're first to the ball, you know, as long as you can put it in the back of the net, do as I say, not as I do, you should be fine. Okay, so this isn't... Normally I hate doing this. This is fine. If Pool Striker gets a good touch, he can kind of put it in that open space on the right. It's actually really good if Pool Striker puts it there. So instead, kind of misses, but again, not the end of the world. So just tip for Lau. Try and always force to the wall. It's a hidden defender. It works out, but just here, but again, just generally, because, you know, forces the ball in the corner and limits our options. It's clutch. Good on Sal to get out. I want to say this from Pool Sharker. I'm sure expecting a hit, but I just want to be sure. I don't necessarily mind just trying to figure out how you're going to challenge this either. Yeah. I think it's just a misread too. Yeah. So let's just see if I can give some tips here. Where's that ball at? Okay. Okay. It's fine. I mean, you could always argue just trying to shade the center as a bit. In case it comes off corner. this does have a little bit of expecting the ball to hit the corner, so it's a whatever. Um, so in that case, then if it comes out in the corner, you kind of have a better shot at it. Um, but obviously, like because of the angle, if it comes off the wall, you don't have as good an angle. And if you're playing the wall, if it comes out the corner, you're not getting it. So this is, again, just kind of guessing. And despite things not working out, like this is playing the more I would say it's conservative, but it's kind of like correct because the misread is that ball comes across the middle on this one. Whereas if you're playing the side, the ball goes back, theoretically giving the opponent opportunity, perhaps. This, what are they going to do? They're just going to put it to the side, whatever. So it's ultimately kind of the safer. Probably just need to be, again, a little bit further back. Just, you can play, comes out through the corner. But play a little bit more back. Again, just give yourself as much time. Because there's really, not much danger of them, the opponent's doing anything here. Also for rotational cues, if you can just say out, out left, out right, or exiting, exit left, exit right, just so that your team knows that you're coming out, even if it is a near post rotation. Or through the play. Which I don't have a problem with Pool Soccer doing there. And that follows the sequence. Yeah, so I think Lau kind of gets caught here. So there's not much Lau can do here right now. So I'd be just trying to swing one or two places. Just again, so you can get a better angle on the ball. This is probably a very rough angle. You have got to hit this right. And I think Lau kind of gets caught trying to read and anticipate everything. Or could be hesitating because realize, oh, wait a minute. I can't put that ball left anymore. So again, if kind of trying to swing in through the left and trying to hit it off the wall, just pushing it to this open space here on the left side of the screen, across the goal line, or swinging in and just trying to cross body it to the right, the right direction on the screen into the corner. It's kind of tough. Yeah, I try to avoid, obviously, trying to avoid boosting there too. So one thing I will say about Salad is when it comes time for cleanup, Salad is in very good position all the time. So I'm going to check Discord after this game. Okay, so that's obviously now a problem with rotating through the play. So I don't disagree with this here. Yeah, it looks like Pool Soccer was trying to take the boost. Again, I think this is just being fully aware. Um, so what I do want to see though is how MM is playing this. Oh, okay. Ooh. All right. This is not good. Okay. So let's see how they come up in the play. Okay. Um, okay. So Salad takes boost. Um, I need to kind of track Salad here. Um, it's fine. It's fine if Lau gets a good touch. It was kind of partially challenged. Um, Salad is out wide, but it's not. Again, this is not necessarily the end of the world because it's like that ball could come out hot. Salad just needs to slow down. Pool Sharker here needs to back off, and this needs to be part comms, part just being aware. Because like as you can see, like this is the third man. Also look at the scoreboard. The blue side, if you look at the top center of the screen, the blue section is no longer your enemy. Your opponent is those numbers in the black section counting down. It's like everybody kind of sticks in too long. So Salad's going to turn here. And Salad misses. Probably actually the smarter play here is for Lau to turn and try and get in a shadow rather than challenge. And I say that in part because of the way Pool Sharker is rotating in this case. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I think just shadowing just kind of helps. Because at the very least, it gives Pool Sharker a chance to touch the ball back to the corner rather than having to push out to the side. So whatever. So it's just, again, something to keep in mind. So like the Mongoose is just probably just need to think about always just doing a super complete deep rotation. It's just, if you're the one in this situation, always just rotate back and try and be the three. Okay, so 2-1. Quickly fade to black. I just need to see what's in Discord, and I don't want to reveal anything. Yeah. I'm just going to confidently say this, that there's someone who thinks they're ranked higher than what they are. Okay. All right. Anyways, back into it, sort of. Actually, I did see something. I just want to make sure that it's not happening. It's probably not happening anymore. Okay. All right, so let's get into game 4. So I can already see it now. It looks like game 5 is the aberration game. So probably just like as the theoretical coach for both sides at this point, like granted I am a lot more focused on the Mongoose than I am for, is this team aggressive? Okay, team aggressive. I think for both sides it's just making sure they get just like slightly better hits on the ball, because they're getting some suboptimal hits. Mongoose is just again just like making sure the rotations are cleaned up, is making sure that they're making the right rotations. Like I would probably say is that if I am broadcasting this, it's fairly even. I mean, there's a 3-0 ramp here, but like, Mongoose were in control of this game, so like, a lot can still happen. I think, there are weaknesses to be exploited on both sides, and I think a lot of it just boils down to the rotations. The one thing I will say is that the Mongoose are just like slightly, or their aggressiveness is actually better. They aren't demoing to be demoing. They're, the times I have as a kind of opposed to team aggressive, which has had a couple of just like random demos, which is like it's fine, but it's also like what was that hoping to accomplish? I think it was like in game 1, it's just like I understand what you're doing, but if you don't have a follow up, that's just demoing to demoing, and it doesn't really accomplish anything because it essentially turns over possession. So I think just both teams just kind of need to work on both their hits at this point, and just again, it's cleaning up their rotations, and it looks to be more on the blue side is their comms. There's still a comms issue on orange side. I think it more has to do more with rotations and actual double commits. So that's what I would. Again, we can see what happens in this game, but that's what I'd be thinking about advising going into this. So, and speaking of random demos, that demo is fine because it's just more of like just part of the play, landing, follow through, all that. That stuff's just going to happen. Also, if people have problems with demos, like, please direct me to the no contact servers that you all play on, because I'd love to play on those. Which actually I'm sure would be just like absolutely worse. He says he's supposed to be reviewing replays. So there's a bunch up there just, again, for Mongoose's comms. That's fine, the challenge there. Lau clears. That's good clear. And if Lau called off his teammate, that is perfectly fine. I don't mind just, doing a flip there to kill some momentum and let your teammate continue on. Again, one thing I see a lot at this level too, again because I'm stuck in diamond, which again is partially me. That's like actually a really good shot. We'll talk about picking up pads. Yep, that just pops out. Yeah, like free reign. That's I love the bounce shot. That is, I hate this goal explosion, but that's really good placement by Soy here. Like, just excellent placement. Anyways, what I was going to say about the boost pads real quick is don't waste a lot of boost going back. You can do a lot with 36. Man, that's another good placement by Soy. What happened? Century off the face-off. So it comes in. Okay, so Pool Striker should not be going up for this. Like, just let. So I'm going to. I'll explain it from Pool Striker's view. Okay. So here's the right reason why Pool Striker should not be going up for it. Where is that ball going to go? This ball is going to probably go back onto that wall. So we back up a little bit. That ball's probably going to go right. Now, there's kind of a big problem with this. One, it causes a double commit. If they try to do a pinch again, fine. But the ball's going to go right. Again, there's a lot of things to say, but I would have assumed that there would have been two blue players over there on the right side. Salad's touch is not going to be that much better. But in a way, like, basically, like, Salad should be hitting this with pace. And really what Salad should be doing which this is going to be difficult. So how does Salad? Okay. Okay, like, yeah, this is... I don't think Salad could have gotten that. Okay, so maybe it's Pool Sharkers. The problem is Pool Sharkers on the cheat. Yeah, so ultimately this is why I think it's Solid, and this is close, but this is why. Like, Solid theoretically is just going to have the momentum. Like, the problem is Pool Sharker's not going to get much of a touch on it. And, like, kind of flips out. Might have been called off. But, like, Pool Sharker probably would put down, like, right here. And put it. What Solid should be trying to do is, like, put the ball right here. Kind of misses. Again, this is, like... This is Champ 1, Champ 2. You know, people that were... just recently got into Champ 1 too. So this is like, it is difficult. So like, yeah. The problem, so I just think like, in this case, like for Pool Sharker should not have gone for it. Again, as weird as that may be, is just because you're tracking back for it. So that's the case that's the case against us. Like, I don't approve of staying back, but if he had stayed back in net and then moved up, I would totally be for that because he would have a lot more options to blast it down, and I don't mind the enemy fighting over it when there are two people on that side. There's not a lot of options because it would go to the back person. But because Poole came up, my thought is he should lay off that ball and let Salad do it. Um, Again, I can always see why going for it, but it's either that or if Pool Sharker does decide to go for it, needs to call it immediately. Just say, I got it. And then Salad lays off of it, and we proceed from there. So anyways, about Boost. Let me tell you about Boost. You can do a lot with 36 and 48. You don't necessarily need to go back for your back corner. You can accomplish so much more with pressure. That's actually like... Oh, good save. If you keep the pressure long and just take the mids, take their corners, like you can sustain so much pressure. Again, it's like I mean, if I have to call anyone out who does this specifically, like I know my teammate Jordan does that a lot. You have to learn to stay in the play. So I'm gonna pause really quick on the boost. So I'm going to bring up a name that going back through replays. If anyone outside of the Mongoose, actually I know one person will probably hate to hear this name. This isn't necessarily their idea, but it was like it's sort of like going out on the video and watching whoever explain rotation. It's like this person. So this person who crystallized this decision for me was Divine, who we won't get into the story of Divine. But like, all things aside, like what stuck out to me is like the way it's explained is like you don't need to go back for 100. You can look at the lines. Like this is a line. This is 48. You got a line here. You got this midline. Is if you take lines to the boost pads, you can get to 48, which is basically all you need to reach the ceiling, and that helps sustain pressure. So it's just like finding the lines to the field. Like here are some lines. And this way you can cut a 100 rotation back because you just like, well, let's just go here and then here and then here. I am playing a blue player, 36, or like, I'm over here. Like, I can come in like this. I'm coming back on defense for orange. I just basically go here, 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 sweep in. I can come out to play, maybe get this as I go. So, I know this is like sudden in the middle of a replay. But I've mentioned it. I think I mentioned it a couple times, or at least once in the last one. I've mentioned it here. I just thought I would just kind of crystallize is that like 36 should get the job done on most aerials, and 48 will be more than enough. If you need 60, fine. But again, and then that also just comes with, improving your aerial speed and the reads and all that. Just, always keep that in mind. And, because it applies to defense. Because, here's your 60, 1, 2, 36, 48, 60. I guess 59 because of divide by 0. And then you got 72. This is always a rough line. But even then, like if you end up here, you can go, you've got 2 lines. You can go like this, 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 or this, or, here. This is actually a decision point. You can cut to here. You can cut to here. You can cut to here. Like if you're looking for boost, you know, and know when to flip and when not to flip. Anyways, back into it. I feel like if Charlax was a little faster on that, could have put something on net. May not net. It could have been above net too. Like I like Pool Striker, so again, just like on the rotations, Lau is kind of drifting here. So it's fine if Lau's here, even though this play's on the right. He's past right center. It's sort of fine because he's technically the third. You know, getting into position kind of has a weird line. But again, if you're picking up pads, that's fine. I don't mind Lau being up here from Lau's perspective. Salad needs... Salad's fine. Salad... I probably need to see what's happening on Salad's end. But I think Lau... So even though it's incorrect, I think you have to, somewhere along the line, you kind of have to recognize this. Because I don't think Salad is going to see this at all. No. Okay, so this is next level crap feature. Next level talk. This is my TED Talk. Okay. So we are seeing Lau so this is Lau's point of view the entire time, which is great. Okay. So Lau is coming out here like this triangle attack is going to be the 2. Okay. So this is where it gets a little rough. And this is actually Lau. Lau is going to need to break the rule here. Even considering down in distance. So Lau needs a pull up. And here's why. Dramatic pause. So the reason why Lau needs a pull up is Salad has shown no signs of stopping. So the reason why Lau needs a pull up is Lau can see all of his teammates. And I think just, you know, just like seeing everything, like Salad is coming in hard. I probably would pull out right here. I would be mad, but I would do that. Because even if Lau gets a perfect play on the ball, Salad is probably going to cut here and take the ball. So if that ball comes out across the middle, Salad is going to cut. So this is going deep. Like, you know, kind of already deep into like breaking the rules, because and this is a case of Lau actually not doing anything wrong here, and this kind of actually happens a lot in solo queue, because, you know, it's like, well, the ball's on my side, like, you know, I'm gonna cut, so like you have to kind of just take one for the team and just kind of pull out. It sucks, but you have to do that. So I'll also say why. Like, pull out. So like Lau finally kind of turns, but it almost looks like Lau is going to try and play this, which there's just there's still enough time, even he says for this team, unquote, to score 3. But this is just not the time to take the 5% chance. Like, based on everything that's happened, and granted, like, I saw the play, but, like, this is kind of like a case of trust my 30,000 games here. I've seen this enough times. Like, that person that's coming in on the same side play just isn't going to stop. And it's actually, like, turns out where it's actually, like, correct. So you just have to, like, suck it up. And I know, again, for Lau, I know this is really, really rough. And it's technically him not doing anything wrong. And, like, it's almost a case of, like, Salad not doing anything wrong either. Because Lau pulled up, and Lau actually kind of, like, then started shifting to the right. Like, you know, he doesn't really have a play. He has to try and keep the ball in if it's, like, in the corner. You know, he gets like a pretty decent corner there. So that's, like, not bad. Like, obviously the defense is there. I want to see what Salad does here, because that looked really weird. Just grabbing the boost. So just quickly for Salad, like, yeah, you don't really need to boost in the play. Like, I know Lau's so Salad probably doesn't need to be this close to the left side. It's kind of like just kind of coast in a way. Like, it's fine that I picked up these boosts, but just kind of, like, if anything, probably break out a little. So it's like the cutoff field happened a little too late. So, like, if Salad is just kind of coasting here. Yeah, and, like, Lau should be probably saying out, out, out. So Salad kind of knows what to do. And, like, part of the problem here is, like, Salad breaks a little too late. Does get the boost, but it's not the best. So this is anatomy of bad defending. Okay, so here's a demo. Okay. So this is Char's ball. Char's going to swing in wide. I'm assuming called off easy. Okay. So I said this, like, last week. It's worth mentioning. This time it's happening on the other side. So it should not move. Take the second to get your bearings. Because he kind of drives into play here. So, like, really, what should actually happen here? So if Easy's called off on this, so Char should be trying to steer his ball in the corner initially. If Char sees Bull Sharker, then needs to push it to the side. Probably needs to put it in that gap between the two orange players. This is like, yeah. So I need to kind of get... So Char's just going to put it to the side. So what? Okay. If there's any call out, Easy should do their best to just try and swing around Char. Because there's not much that Easy can do here. Like, if that ball's going to be put to the side, it's going to be put behind Easy. So Easy's not going to have a play. And really, like, if you don't know where your teammate is, it's best to just cover the net. So again, this is kind of like a really like high level play, kind of like you need to think in advance. Okay. So what let's go from here. If Easy's not up for that ball, Easy needs to swing left and try. If Easy's gonna say this is my ball, needs to cut left, do a circle around. But instead, Easy handbrakes and turns right. So with this move, like again, Easy then needs to like try and take this and cut in the corner. So I'm assuming if Easy's called off this ball, Easy needs to take a line to get behind Char, basically. Like, yeah. I'm led to believe that, again, not having comms, Easy was called off on this, but I think Easy took a very terrible line here. Like, so you finally see Soy spawn, but it's just briefly. So let's see if I would have seen that. Barely. So I don't know if I actually would have seen Soy spawn. So here again, here's the problem with Easy's line. Easy's line is bad because he doesn't have a play on this ball. He's going to have to swing around. Okay, what does Easy know about this play? I'm kind of picking on the opponents here, but this is like kind of really critical to all this. Okay, so he turns and stops here. So at this point, he sees all three mongooses. So somewhere in here, I think Char calls for the ball. So at the very best, I know that there are three people off to my left. I don't know where Pool Sharker is, and I don't know where the other people are. And like you kind of see. Okay. So again, like this is actually a super deep dive here. Because again, I feel like this is actually like really critical. So Salad is coming. So the safe bet to assume is at some point Pool Sharker will be behind you. Because I think Pool Sharker is going to... Obviously, Pool Sharker goes for the boost. Pool Sharker is probably going to go for the boost after that demo and replenish. So this ball is coming right to left. And Easy actually does not have a play on this. So, like... So, if Char calls for the ball, barring a high-level hit, that ball is going to be pushed to the right side of the screen in some way, shape, or form. So, again, this is kind of like, in this case, if you're the defender here, you need to rotate around Char. Because you're suddenly the 3. Because you don't have a 1. Char is the 2. So that's always something to remember, especially on defense. It's briefly 2s. So your 2 is also happens to be your 1. So yeah, like Yeah, like I can understand Easy being here if Char's gonna miss, but I still think you have a play on the ball if you're, say, over on the left. Um, because we can kind of like scroll through the people. Like Sal's actually kind of gotten here, but Easy doesn't know that. But like, I just there's not like a lot here. So like Easy, the problem is Easy just doesn't have a really good. Again, Easy doesn't have a really good play on the ball here. So Sharks puts it to the left. So Soy needs to stop. Soy is just reacting to ball, like which is what normally happens. You need to stop and get your bearings. So like they collide. So also another reason why Easy needs to come in behind Char is that Char's momentum is going to take him over here. So unless Easy was hoping for a Soy spawn on the other side, but here's the thing, like so because of all this, like Easy runs into Soy and then runs into Char. I don't know if Char would have gotten that ball. Maybe. No, that Pool Striker had all the way. So also what Easy, by Easy doing this, Easy would have rotated in and been at far post. So Pool Striker would, this kind of actually would have changed the anatomy of the play. Because Soy would have so Soy was still charged in here. Soy would have inadvertently probably swung back left and kind of like cut Pool Sharker off. So like imagine Easy is behind Char and coming in at the far post. So Char kind of puts it to the side. Easy can stay there because Easy's like, well, there's no chance I have the ball. I gotta like wait for something. Soy is probably going to be in the way or be out of the play because Soy's just going to drive forward. So instead, like, Easy's kind of like sitting here, like in this area. You know, can kind of like moving up a little bit and jump. So like, yeah, it doesn't even need to really be boosting here, especially if Char got him off. Have 46. He has 30. But I mean, again, like, Easy can take the line. 42, 54, 64. So, something like basically 50 boosts sitting here. Bang, charge, challenge that ball. You know, you're up. And probably has a save too. And like if Easy like pushes it this way, you know, it's a good counter. Or at the very least it's gonna chew time. Like, yeah. But, you know, it's a case of like being aggressive when you really didn't need to be, given down in distance. Like, the case is basically like the only way you're going to lose this game is if you let your opponents back into it. And they sort of did.
60 seconds left on the clock.
I feel like Team Aggressive is right now taking just like way too many chances when they don't need to be. Like I just think that they don't have to sit back, but they just don't have to have like 3 people on the ball. Probably should flick that and just like tried to do something. Okay. So hopefully this won't take too long. I think having people along does, again, I don't mind questions. Okay, so that's a shit flip. So how can we fix this on the face-off? Okay. So again, this is playing a push. I don't think push face-offs happen as much at this level because people have discovered the flip kickoff would get you there a little bit faster, and they're not necessarily doing it correctly. So they get to the ball correct, but they haven't fully mastered it to where they can angle the ball. So it's kind of like flip, land, and immediately flip again at the ball, and that ball just comes out so predictable, and it comes out really, really fast. So this kind of shading to the side doesn't work. And it basically, in a way, puts Pool Sharker in basically the same situation we talked earlier with like trying to commit to a ball on the side. And that it'll be perching backwards in a way. So I think really I think until you can reliably win face-offs at a certain speed, the one thing I will say is that my balls rarely come out that high and hard to the side when I take face-offs. If they come out hard, they usually are on the ground and roll up the wall. Sometimes I have a really bad face-off and they're closer to my net than I would like. But I generally have very few problems, and I just do a simple face-off. I just boost into it, and then I'm using my flip, timing my flip and using my flip to get the ball where I need it to go. And it works great because also I arrive there second most of the time. And it just I basically can control it. The hardest thing for me to do is actually stop the ball, but I've been just trying to work on that. Sometimes I get help from my opponent, and it works out. But yeah. So really, like, what needs to be happening here is one of two things. On the face-off, just go for boost, or just kind of like the variants you have here are cheat up to like right here and see what happens, and you're kind of covered. If the ball squeaks the opponent's side, well, you've kind of lost. If you do boost, you're counting for basically here. Because, like, if you sort of just, like, roll, you do have anything that squeaks out and squeaks out. You're going to have, again, like, it's a, rock, paper, scissors in a way. But this also doesn't, like, leave you too vulnerable. Because, like, if the ball, like, rolls out here to the side, which is, like, what this one is trying to take advantage of, like, anyone who's boosting here, like, they're not putting a shot on that. you know, because they're like coming here and because they boosted up, expecting a stop, and it's just like out here. So, um, so yeah. So like, just shade to the middle basically, or go back and get your boost. So Saladin's going to do what I do. So no flip. So there's too much lateral movement for Salad. Salad just needs to drive straight, 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 straight. Salad is also doing something what I do. But that's more out of a habit because I solo queue. I do it in matches. I have a comms problem on my team though. Call out where you're going. Back left, back right, cheat. Simple. Because by Salad doing this, he's devoting too much time. So like, so if he had driven straight, he could then flip and redirect. But because he's like actually losing it, like that ball's going to kind of like pinch off of him. So it's going to, it's technically a lot. It's technically a win because the ball's back in your zone. But like, yeah, so Lao's again. So again, like that's a weird. It's very very weird because like that's a win for the blue side. Like they're going to control the ball, and like Pool Sharker, like again, this is a case of like here's all the lessons I said before, but it's like Lao's going to challenge this. Lao should still challenge that because it's deep in their zone at this point. That's his ball. Yeah, this is again just very weird and how this plays out. Okay. Man. Face-offs. So right here, Lau needs to decide what they're doing. And it just cannot be a half-assed. So, like, if you're going to grab the side, just go all the way to the side. But you turned in here. So now you're saying I'm challenging it. And now you're pulling off. Like, just commit. Like, this is a very indecision. Because, like, Pool Sharker's kind of pulled off because, like, yeah. So, again, like, theoretically in this situation, like, Pool Sharker would pull back to the back left and move up field. And Lau has to do one of two things. Either challenge it, which says stay back Pool Sharker on this left side. You know, move into whatever position, defensive position. But if Lau cuts for the boost, then Lau needs to stay off the ball, and then between him and Pool Sharker, they need to call who's going to make the challenge on Char. But instead, what happens is this gives Char time. Like, fortunately, like, Salad's there to deal with, like, the hit, but that's really, really bad. Okay? That's, like, good to pull off. Like, you recognize you don't have it. I'd say on that backwards attempt by Lau there in the offensive zone, it's too early in Game 5 for that. You don't need to worry about that. I said this is an aberration game because of the score, but holy cow. Okay, so Pool Sharkers are going to come back near side. So, trying to play for the demo. Okay, so my recommendations. Don't play for the demo here, Pearl Sharker. There's not a lot you can actually do here. It's also like really super close because you almost did get it, but this is a very dangerous demo. So you have to. This is a case. This is like, if you do this, you have to. You have to do it. There's also no guarantee that Pool Sharker would have been pushed up in that ball either. So that's a problem. Or Salad would have been smokescreen. So this is actually kind of like a really bad demo attempt because there's not much good that can come off this. I'm like, yeah, we're seeing the play. But I really dislike this. Okay. Here's why I really, really dislike this. I think the defense is set up okay. But whereas where I say like there's some challenges that are free, this I feel is the opposite. The reason why is if we look at everything, and I'm pretty sure Pool Sharker doesn't see what's going on here, is Soy is going to go for a bump demo, something, a hit on Lau. So this is again, Pool Sharker has to, so there's a lot of things that has to happen here. Pool Sharker has to demo Char, avoid the ball, and Salad has to get the ball out and somehow not get smoke screened, or the smoke the explosion doesn't screen him or interfere in any way to where Salad hits the ball into Pool Sharker either. It's obviously not what happens, but like, there's a lot that needs to go right here, which is why I'm saying I feel like in this case this is a really bad demo attempt. And also, like, Char's carrying some speed. So we'll say it again from Pool Sharker. Yeah, like, gets a boost, so he's not that. So what happens here? Like, again, this, like, worked out, but it was super dangerous. And I don't think this was the time in the game when they need to be doing that. It's game 5. So Sal pushes it to the corner. That's fine. Okay. Lau, just go on back. Just it's a near post rotation. It's fine. Don't try and play the ball. Don't even try and stop. I'm not trying to sound angry or anything. Again, this is a case of like there's not a lot Lau can do here because that ball is probably bouncing out to a blue team member. Like there's just not. And Lau can only stop a ball that is going to roll in through the corner. And I'm going to have to look at Lau's camera because I don't know what's going on. But what Lau should have done here is just rotating the corner, right and stop. Because, like, I'm waving my hands around frantically. Because it's like, I don't... This is probably where it would help, where I would understand what is going on. I actually don't understand what's going on. Because it's also the two-person in the scenario, two-person in the corner scenario, and in your defensive zone. So now, we are going to look at everything this way. Okay, so I don't mind that. You got down, you're coming back. Okay. So it's hard to see Pool Sharker's nameplate. Okay, so Lau, if you're leaving the boost for salad, just get on back. Like, you have to. It's imperative you have to. So, yeah, so you don't necessarily see Pool Sharker coming back. You have to get back. Like, you have to get back. You probably... If Salad is going to fall off in this ball, you leave the boost for Salad. But yeah, this is turning on a... Let me see what Lau sees. So we're probably looking at this like we did for Easy. Okay. Okay, so you know there's one blue player behind you. Okay, you see Soy cutting over. You can't cut and turn on this. And not with 12 boost. Like, there's just no way. So I would, again, the snapshot would say, you know Easy's behind you. Easy's probably going to challenge this ball at some point. Like, Soy's coming in here too. Probably should have rotated out. So, like, Easy gets a 50. Yeah. So, this is, like, I would say can't get this. And I guess I understand that the signal signifies that. But yeah, it goes back to the turn. You just probably need to be on the backboard to begin with, rather than like just trying to stop there, because you're again it goes to the point of just not being able to contribute to the play. Because by actually power sliding there in the corner and coming to a stop, you took yourself out of the play. Okay, so I want to see what Pool Sharker sees. Okay, so you have no idea where... Okay. So there's probably one behind you. So Salad's come back, Lau's out of the play. So you kind of see Lau turning. I don't think Pool Sharker can go wide here. So needs to just kind of turn and try and do this. Yeah, makes a wide turn for the boost. Like, I understand going for the 100, but you need to turn and, like, you know, basically do this or, you know, come in like this. The reason why is Lau's coming in near side. It doesn't have a play on the ball. I mean, it's unfortunately that's like pretty easy. Yeah. So, again, as Sal said, I'm going for it. I need to boost. Like, it's imperative that Lau just has to turn towards net because no one's covering net. Pool Striker needs to make a line through the boost pads and be far post. Again, and here this feels like Lau calling off, but like if there's comms at where everyone's at, like if I took Pool Striker's line, that's a bad turn too. Okay. You have to turn in. You have to turn in. You have to turn in towards your net. Like, you can't turn out. So, man, I'm picking on Pool Shark again. Okay. So, here's why. So, like, he switches and sees that. That is not a favorable situation. It's just not. And I can understand the thought again because it's like Lau should be coming back. The problem from Pool Sharker's standpoint is you have two of your teammates in the corner. And if something goes wrong, you have to be able to come back and help. So really what Pool Striker should have done here so like you see Salad here, like Lau's still coming back. Needs to be planning to make a right turn here. Probably showed a little, also there, some urgency there, but like he could have done that had he circled right. Instead, he circled downfield. Like, there's a chance there, obviously. What I stuck there. That if that ball comes out, that's probably a goal, but like, there's not really a need to be going up there. Again, it's down in distance and also position of your teammates. And so he just gets there first, makes it 2-0. All right, we're going to try and be done with this in 2:30. But we are going to play the whole game. So I'm going to have definitely some recommendations. Yeah, that's always rough to read. I don't know what the F you can do about that. That looks planned. But also, I'm seen it happen too many times to know it's not planned. Okay, so for reference, I like to say, don't panic. There'll be plenty of time to panic later. 3 goals is not insurmountable. You do have to start thinking about that now, because you need to realize, you know, the halfway part, you know, it's just doing this very simple math. It took them half the game to score 3. We need half the game to tie it up. So, again, no need to panic. So this just catches them on rotation, I think. Okay. I kind of want to. First of all, Char has no business going for this ball. Also, his team is up 3-0. I do not like the follow here by Soy. So the reason why I don't like it's basically like this ball's going right now. It does have speed. But I don't like it. I don't like it because Soy's not. I feel like Soy's not going to be. It's like actually a pretty decent pass. Lau gets in the way of it. So problem here is this person should not have been up for that. Like, what are you doing coming out of the corner here? Like, what are you doing? It's 3-0. Like, see, there's always something to learn. Like, this is Char's viewpoint. This is Char's viewpoint. Like, we can roll it back some. There is no reason to go for this ball. This is a complete communication breakdown on Team Aggressive's side. Like, that's horrible play by Char. I'm sorry. Like, you don't have any chance at this ball. The problem here on Easy's end is Easy just gets out in front. Just a little bit too much speed. So Soy puts off Lau. Char goes for the catch, screws it up. Like, that is just really bad. That's really bad play. Like, I'm sorry. You're up 3-0. You know, you do have to recognize and say, okay, we just like colossally screwed up. Don't do that again. Like, you know, like you don't have to play super conservative, but that's stupidly aggressive. And if I did something stupid like that, I would be just beating myself up for it because it's like, why the F am I doing that? If it's 5-0, I understand. But 3-0, and you know they scored basically 2 minutes left. It's just that is a 1% play. I mean, blue was really trying to throw there. Someone on the blue side is Mafia, and I think it's Char. I probably won't be harsh on the BBU streams, but when I'm reviewing this, that's actually a really good passing play. Let's just watch that again. It's a really, really simple, like, off the kickoff passing play. So kind of like what we had earlier with Lau's pass. Um, it's kind of very similar here. Like, so let's like watch from Char's perspective. We won't comment on their face-offs. Like, it's even just a slight mistouch, but like solid mistouches there too. That's a case of Salah just has to kind of crush that ball. That's also really bad face-off positioning by Blue. That I feel like teams are like, well, we got a goal off that. Let's just keep doing that. It's like, well, no, it really happened because there was a bad touch on the clear, and your teammate, while flipping into it, did get a good touch. Like, I understand why Char did that. So it's not a bad decision, but it's like, yeah, we should do that face-off formation again. It's like, no, that's a bad touch by Yeezy. That's a tight angle. Okay, so what happens here? I'm not going to necessarily fault Salad at 5-1. If it's 1-0, you should move into shadow on that play. And buy your team. You'd also be buying your team time. So really, like, I think like this game 5 was won by Blue, but the thing I take away is they did some really, really bad things. Like, the game is not in the bag when you're up by 3. Not with that much time remaining. Again, all right. So the overall. Again, work on the rotations. Comms. The comms have to be happening. Like, they need to happen. So, just do your best to make them short and sweet. So, you know, if you're the 3, call it. Say, I'm the 3, or behind, or whatever. On the left, you know, just say left, you know, right. I usually say downfield, up, I'm in the air. You know, so when you go up, just say up. You know, call your placement kind of ahead of time. So, like, what's a good example? Like, if you know you're going to be far post the entire time, don't call for a post right as you get there. Call for a post ahead of time. I actually kind of do that because I know I'll be there before. Um, like I'll be there ahead of the like I'm calling it before the play will actually be there. So it just lets me, it speeds up the decision making process because I've called it like half a second to a second earlier. But yeah, I think it's comms, work on the rotations. Like again, I think there were definitely times in this where they correctly recognized when they had to do it, but it was also just like even when they were doing it, then like another bad decision was made again, like Lau power sliding the corner. It's just like go all the way back, like you'll be fine. Um, so the recommendations I have. So I think from a development standpoint, so I'll leave this up on the screen for a little bit. I think this is a good one to do. It's just a bunch. It's really ultimately just like a bunch of aerials for a while. There are a couple of like ground stuff there, but it's actually like a very nice varied pack. I just think doing this is a great way. I just recommend doing it and not trying to do anything fancy, but just like hit the ball. This is actually a pretty decent pack for doing saves. I like that. Yeah, it's just a good way to practice, just reading stuff. Again, if you have Bacchus mod, it comes in handy because the ball doesn't always come in the same way. If I would have to recommend a next level pack, so takes off glasses, rubs eyes. This is an interesting one. So I've been routinely doing this one for about a year and a half. Most of it was just to work. I think part of it was to just like get at the ball. So yeah, obviously it's like trying to do redirects. There's a lot of stuff in here that does require, double jump, fast aerials. So this is a good training pack to actually work on those when you get to those shots. Also, down as you develop and get used to things, you can then start rotating your car. And I know this isn't like, oh wow, you can actually do that. So, as I said, I've been doing this for about a year and a half. I've just probably within the last 3 months, I've started getting comfortable with rotating my car, probably to the point where it's almost detrimental now. But like I would just like, make the minor adjustments with, the handbrake air roll. Yes, I have that bound. Or trying to do stuff with the individual air rolls. Yes, because I have additional buttons. And just once I got like comfortable just trying to like basically hit the ball and do like aerials to just like basically just try and drive straight at the ball. Then it's like now I'm going to start rotating my car and trying to redirect it. It's probably been actually longer since I've been doing this one because I was doing it on PlayStation. So I wasn't like using Bacchus mod. So obviously, like the ball comes, you can set up to where the ball comes in, different speeds, angles, whatever. Put some randomness on it. But like what this does is like in a way it just like first it's like just like you just kind of trains you to do the getting up in the air as quick as possible to get to the ball. And then just kind of like as you do it, and as you get like comfortable doing that, then you could start like tacking on. So like I feel like I'm explaining this also from like how I've developed. Like I kind of feel like this has like a lot of life to it. But like I think this is pretty good. Like I've been doing this since it debuted. Um, so I think this has been around 18 plus months. Um, I stole that. That's kind of an interesting pack that the Tate put together. It's a really interesting shot package. Um, I forgot what that was. This is kind of similar to all the other like shot training packs. You know, reading bounces, reading the ground, trying to get in net. So it's another good one. But yeah, I would probably recommend this just for practicing aerials, practicing making contact. This just for practicing, in your own net. There's again aerials involved, so that's that. And if you just want to practice just trying to get to the ball, I would actually recommend doing this. And then once you are comfortable with that, yeah, then start working at redirecting, trying to put the shot on net, that sort of thing. And then rolling your car and doing all that nonsense. But yeah, that would be my recommendation for the team. So yeah, overall, that's what I think. Hopefully, y'all find this useful. You're probably watching this through Twitch. If I can get off my lazy butt, I'll put this up by Monday. I know I'm explaining this in the video, but again, always if you're interested, I have a vast collection of Let's Play on my YouTube, and about 1% of it is actually like educational stuff. TBT, Jesus, now I finally remember it. Tiesto's old team was called TBT, Team Best Team. There's also some, if you want to go back and actually view the older ones, what you're doing wrong. I even have some super, super old stuff from the PlayStation days where I yell at the team I was on. It is like super, super low tech and super janky because I'm doing it over PlayStation. And I wanted records of everything because I think I had a shitty mic. So yeah, I thought it was more helpful to do it that way. So there's some just like really, really bad, like what you're doing wrong, where I just have the PlayStation tab chat open, and I'm literally have my laptop on my phone open, and I'm like typing in saying like, here's my thought process, because my mic was that bad. So yeah, but there's still like some helpful stuff in there, and you can kind of like see like, granted I know you're a champ, but just like kind of like, what was going on there. But like there's some advice in there that's still kind of strong. I think, I would like to think. But yeah, that will go ahead and do it for this one. Mischievous Mongoose' Week 2 replay review. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all feedback. Again, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone. I do have a lot of pet peeves, and they started coming out a little bit. But I'm not trying to single anyone out. Just trying to, trying to give you pointers on how to improve. So you can message me if you want to take shots at me. Probably do it in your chat. I do read that, through admin abuse powers. And that sort of thing. Otherwise, if you want to tell me I'm a jerk privately, I probably deserve it anyways. You can go ahead and DM me in Discord. But yeah, and again, I'm always looking for ways to kind of improve it. But you know, obviously, like this is kind of the style I've done it in, but that's also all I've ever known. So, um, thank you, Monguises, for watching. There's definitely obviously there's room for improvement, but again, like there's a lot of things that you guys are doing right. You know, so let's try and get that let's try and get that improved and get it improved week 3. Let's see if we can sneak in a W. But yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.